Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Matthew Branch. I'm a first year medical student, and on this channel we talk about everything music and medicine. Today we're learning a song on piano by one of my favorite artists, Kendrick Lamar, and this song is called Prayer. It's a newer song that just leaked. It actually hasn't been released yet. But the piano part is very cool. It's a little more involved than a lot of hip hop piano parts. And so I thought it'd be fun to share my rendition with the world. So this tutorial is going to be split up into two parts because there's about 5 different sections of the song. In this first part, we're going to go over the first 3 sections. And in the second part, which I'll release in a day or two, we'll go over the last 2 parts of the song. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so in each of these parts, I'm going to start by going over the chord progression, and then I'm going to describe the melody that's played in each of these respective parts. And normally this song would be played 1 octave lower, but because I wasn't able to get the full span of my piano within the camera angle, I'm just going to play it right here around middle C. If you want to play it how it actually is played in the song, you would move it 1 octave lower. Okay, so this first part starts with a G sharp minor chord. And next we have a C sharp major, second inversion. Next we have another G sharp minor chord. This is actually a G sharp minor 7th, and as you can see in the right hand, I'm playing a B major, and in the left hand, it's just a G sharp octave with the 5th in the middle. And then he returns to the C sharp major, second inversion, and then back to the G sharp minor, okay? Okay, so now we're going to add the melody to it, and the melody of this part centers around the G sharp minor arpeggio. And if you don't know what an arpeggio is, it's just playing each note of the chord. Okay, so I'm going to play this part how it's actually played. I'm going to play it slowly, so just try to follow along, and after I've played it, I'm going to describe a couple specific parts of it. So here we go. Okay, so as you can see, just like I said, that G sharp minor arpeggio is big in this part. One thing of note, when you play the C sharp chord, there's a little transitory note at the end, that little G sharp, before you jump up into the next chord. Another thing to note is that on this chord, the top note is F sharp, but when you do the melody, you jump up and you put that G sharp as the top note. And the last thing I want to mention about this part is the second time through, when you're playing that C sharp and you go to play that transition note, instead of jumping straight back into the G sharp minor, you play these 2 notes, G sharp and D sharp. And this little piece serves to transition into the next section, which I will show you right now. So, one more time, here's how it goes. I'm just going to play it once through and then transition into the next section. Okay, so let's learn this next part. So the chords in this part are pretty straightforward. I'm going to play them now. It starts with an E major chord. It's actually an E major 7th, but we're going to be playing the 7th note in the right hand as we play the melody. So it's an E 7th, then you move to a B. Again, the 7th will be played in the right hand. Next is a G sharp major, and last is a C sharp minor. So that's E, B, G sharp major, and C sharp minor. So practice those chords. Pause the video if you need to, because now we're going to move on into the melody of this part. So the melody of this part can be played one of two ways. If you're a little newer to piano, I'm going to give you a little bit of a simpler version that you can play, which will sound just fine. And then I'm going to show you how they actually play it in the song. So here's how it would go if you want to play it simply. You start on the G sharp and you just kind of walk down. So one more time. And now, this is how they're actually playing it in the song. So, they're playing those exact same notes, but they're adding one component to it. And that is actually the 5th of the note, of the root note. So, that would be D sharp for G sharp, right? Except what they do is they put the 5th below the root note. So it's just like that. And so for every note that I just played, you're going to do exactly that. You're going to put the 5th below it. So here's how that looks. All right. And one other thing, just little thing to note for this part is that the piano player in this song doesn't play the notes at the same exact time every time that he plays it. He adds a little bit of a delay between playing it to add a sense of dissonance to his playing. So here's how it sounds all together. And I guess I should mention that you switch to the B when you get to this chord, and that's where you switch to the G sharp. And then, and one other thing I'll add here is that throughout the song, the piano player embellishes his playing a lot. So he's in the left hand, he's not always just playing straight chords. He'll sometimes be doing arpeggios, or he'll be playing broken chords. And so that kind of changes a lot throughout the whole piece. What I did is I picked something that sounded good to my ears and I went with it. And if you like how I'm playing it, I would encourage you to go ahead and take it from me. Otherwise, you can listen to the song and try to figure out what sounds good to you as far as playing the chords in the left hand. So I'll show you real quickly how I play it in slow motion. So that's one way you can play it. Next, we're going to move into the last section we'll be talking about today, which is kind of a pre-chorus transitional section. So this section, it just has 3 chords. It starts with an E, moves up to the F sharp major, and then on to the G sharp suspended. And then after that, there's a little run, a little lick that I'm going to teach you about. So he plays broken chords in this part. So it's so real quick, that's E, F sharp, and G suspended. And now it's B flat, E, okay? So one more time through. And once again, normally this would be played an octave lower. That's why I'm only playing the 5th in the left hand. Because if you play the full chord another octave lower, it sounds a little muddy. So I would encourage you to play the 5th in the left hand and the full chord in the right hand. Okay, so that's all of the sections that I wanted to talk about today. Those are the first 3 sections of the song, and they actually repeat a whole bunch of times throughout the song. So go ahead and learn those 3 sections, and you'll be most of the way through the song. I'll be back in a day or two to share with you the second half of this tutorial, in which we'll finish out the song. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and you're able to learn this song. It's a lot of fun to play. Thanks for watching. Once again, my name is Matthew Branch, and I'll see you in the next video.